So, in this lecture, we would continue equality. So, we'll discuss the kinds of equality as Professor Lasky and Professor Barker expressed in their works. So, Professor Lasky, in his Grammar of Politics, refers to two kinds of equality: political equality and economic equality. So, why political equality? He means actual access of everyone to the avenue of authority and universal adult suffrage is a means to that end. And as regarding economic equality, means the equality in economic power, which implies something more than approximate equality of wealth. So, in the absence of economic equality, political power becomes a handmaid of economic power. Concentration of property or wealth in few hands is fatal to the purpose of the state. For in such a case, the nature of state action is bound to be vast. The law of the state would then tilt in favor of the holders of economic power. Further, equality in the economic sphere means that economic power must be subjected to the rules of democratic ethics. So, to last, it means the abrogation of unfettered and irresponsible will in the industrial world. And as Professor Ernest Barker, in his Principles of Social and Political Theory, divided it to legal equality and social equality. So, he mentioned two forms of equality: legal equality and social equality. And to him, possession of an equal degree of legal personality under the law of the land establishes legal equality. For centuries, such legal equality was either denied or given in an inferior degree to many classes of persons. For instance, down to 1918, women did not enjoy the right to vote in England. Now, of course, legal equality has been generally conferred on all, irrespective of sex or class or confession. The problem of social equality still now remains unsolved. The contents of social equality are equality of culture and economic equality. So, in other words, according to Barker, the problem is one of an increasingly equal distribution both of educational opportunities and of economic facilities. So, in the matter of educational opportunities, a considerable amount of educational inequality needs to create a gulf of culture between the few and the many, which is a stumbling block to the attainment of a good society. As Professor Barker suggests, the obstacle can only be removed by a steady raising of the educational minimum and a steady strengthening and lengthening of the ladder of access which leads to the educational maximum. It does not, however, means uniformity of education or identity of culture, for the fact of individual difference is mental endowments and interest must in no case be overlooked. So Barker made his observation as twofold, as it is partly a matter of status, it is partly a matter of property and income. The matter of status is linked up with the issues of co-partnership between management and labor in the industries. In the matter of property and income, the issue is one of correcting inequality in their distribution. And economic equality is closely related to legal equality. Considerable equalization both of economic status and of economic positions is necessary to make equal citizenship a fact, as was forwarded by Professor Ernest Walker in his monumental work Principles of Social and Political Theory. And now we'll discuss the very relationship that we found in between liberty and equality and how it was interpreted by Professor Tocqueville and Lord Acton and also Ernest Barker. So, as regarding the very relationship between liberty and equality, as at first sight strange, it seems, as according to Dr. Tocqueville and Lord Acton were the champions of liberty but not of equality. To them, liberty and equality were antithetic things. Unrestrained freedom amounts almost to license. Hence, freedom necessitates for the public good imposition of reasonable checks on individual expansion. In such a situation, liberty and equality seems to be antithetical. But this antithesis is only apparent and never real. For liberty is by nature limited, and equality by securing to all equal legal capacity and cultural and economic opportunities, which enriches the content of liberty. So, both liberty and equality have a common end, namely promotion of the value of personality and the spontaneous development of its capacities. No one of these is an isolated principle. Each helps the other. If liberty is supposed to be an atmosphere best suited to the development of personality, the objective conditions necessary for creating the atmosphere are provided by the principle of equality. Liberty without equality degenerates into license, and equality without liberty lapses into uniformity. But in spite of this close association of liberty with equality, it can perhaps be argued that liberty is superior to equality. And as to what Professor earnest worker. Equality in all its forms must always be subjected and instrumental to the free development of capacity. But if it be pressed to the length of uniformity, and if uniformity be made to thwart the free development of capacity, the subject becomes the master, and the world is becoming to turn topsy turvy, as it was expressed by Professor Ernest Walker in his monumental work, The Principles of Social and Political Theory. So, we would like to discuss and to conclude the very relationship between liberty and equality for the spontaneous development of individual personality. Liberty is, however, as much necessary as equality. None of this can be treated in isolation. It may further be maintained that the two principles of liberty and equality should be considered from the standpoint of stability of a community. Every community is knit together through a hierarchy of authority and function, and its unity is achieved through a number of forces which may be both non-voluntary and sub-rational, like tradition, geography, kinship, etc., and voluntary and rational, like the police, the military, etc. In such a context, the principle of equality is a relevant criterion of criticism for the social hierarchy, and the principle of liberty serves the same purpose for the community's unity. But neither principle could be wholly or absolutely applied without destroying the community, as we found it was expressed by Reynold Nevar in his Yale Review, where he published an article on liberty and equality. So, we have completed our lecture on the very concept of equality and the very meaning of equality as propounded by Professor Ernest Walker and Professor Hadar Lasky, and also we traced the ancient source how natural inequality was propounded by the ancient political philosophers of Greece like Plato and Aristotle, respectively, in their work, The Republic and Politics. So also how we found the very trace of doctrine of equality in the Stoic philosophies also, the Roman jurists' contribution of the juristic principle of jus gentium, and also we have discussed Locke's views regarding liberty and equality in his two treatises of civil government. Also, the foundings of Professor Lifson in his monumental work, The Great Issues of Politics. Then we have discussed the kinds of equality as Professor Hadar divides equality as political equality and economic equality, and Professor Ernest Walker divides equality as legal equality and social equality. Then we have discussed the very relationship and dependence of these two concepts on each other, and both are complementary to each other as liberty and equality. So we have discussed those who are the champions of liberty like Dr. Tacubelli and Lord Acton, and accordingly Lord Acton expressed that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.